Michael. I'm the drummer for Winterhearth. I joined the band back in 2012. Was out of the band for about a year and I recently rejoined. Started playing drums back in 2003, 2002 maybe. Convinced my parents to buy me a drum set. I wasn't always into music. I was growing up. I was more into like video games and TV and stuff like that. But around 2001, 2000, I really started getting into heavy metal and punk music. And so right now I'm going to Andrews. We're gonna practice some music for the show. You know, like in a lot of bands, sometimes you play in empty rooms, sometimes you play in crowded rooms. But we're not the type of band who we try to cater to everyone, excuse me, and not just bring our friends down to a show, you know? Because I mean that gets boring after a while, and we always try to keep things fresh, keep things new.
Started playing bass in 8th grade, maybe 7th or 8th grade. Because my cousin brought over his brother's bass, and I was like, the fuck is that instrument? Like, that's not a guitar. Because I didn't play anything or whatever at the time. And I started playing it a little bit, and my brother and I jammed out to Black Sabbath, I think, by Black Sabbath. And yeah, I just got hooked on the bass. I was like, it was a bit different from guitar and stuff. That's kind of why I liked it. I started I was probably in grade 5 or 6, and my brother was home sick, like from school that one day, and my dad brought back some old tapes that he found in our grandmother's house, and the tapes that just he listened to that day was Power Slave, Iron Maiden, and Led Zeppelin 4. And when I came home, he showed them to me, and he was like, just listen to this music, like you're gonna like it. And he put it on, and I was just blown away, and just changed my perspective on music and everything, really.
Probably when I heard bands like Metallica and Iron Maiden and Megadeth, especially Iron Maiden and Megadeth, because like Dave Mustaine got those kind of real fast-paced rhythms. I wasn't never cared too much about being an Yngwie Malmsteen or a Joe Satriani. Not that I don't like them, I think they're great, but as I got older, I got into guys like Alexi Leo, Michael Amott, Bill Sturr, Max Cavalera. I can't really think of any modern guys at the moment as well. When we were growing up, there wasn't a lot of good modern metal, but there was at the same time, you know?
He actually sent me a demo of a song that he was working on, and I was kind of like, hell yeah, what's this gonna be? But right from the first riff, I was like, whoa, this is really heavy, brutal stuff. Totally not what I was expecting.
It's like black metal meets Sepultura. I don't know, like some songs got like an old school Opeth kind of vibe, like Witchcraft. Then you got ones like Curse of Summer, which reminds me of like Dark Throne, and like The Chapel reminds me of like Beneath the Remains era Sepultura, and a lot of Carcass too, especially from the Necroticism days. Just this raw, raunchy production.
Well, I was in a band prior to this one in high school. We called 747, and it was a 3-piece. It was just, yeah, bass, guitar, and drums, and I did the vocals. And we like split up when I was in grade 11 maybe. And me and Andrew knew each other anyways, and like I brought my bass over to his house one day and we started jamming a bit, and you know, got to be friends and stuff. And eventually, like once we did separate in 747, like I just went over to his house and we were like, man, we should try to write something or whatever. And yeah, we wrote like a few songs. Like because it was some adjustment period to playing what we used to play, which was like kind of really thrashy stuff, like Metallica Testament sounding stuff, and then the transfer over into Andrew and his like kind of manic playing took a lot of adjustment.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good show tonight.
I hope. I mean, I'd say it will be.
Yeah, man.
It's always music.
It's the thing about downtown. It's like the crowds are sometimes a good crowd, sometimes a small crowd. Alright, so this is the deck. It's pretty much the center of punk rock and heavy metal here in St. John's. Played a lot of shows down here. A lot of bands come play.
It's fucking awesome, man. There's so many talented bands down here. You go to any of these bars around here, you're gonna find someone that's gonna blow your mind. The amount of talent is just crazy.
Well, Winterhearth comes to mind. They're a great band. So, Winterhearth was the first like black thrash band that I heard here. It was fucking great, and they got some good melodic riffs, good and heavy, fast.
Local scene's pretty good, man. Some people get, some people get frustrated with it, but I think it's like any scene anywhere, really.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a good and a bad, but it's a pretty good sense of community, especially down here.
Awesome.
Everyone we ever played with has always been super cool and super supportive. So.
Put it this way, I remember coming down to all ages shows when I was 15, 16 years old, and the first time I saw Winterhearth, I was like, holy shit! Like, this shit's so fucking metal, oh my god! And it like melted my face off. I had to like reattach that shit with some fucking graphic tape and all that shit. Everybody just puts their heart and soul in their music, and it's so present in their performance. It's just incredible. It doesn't matter if you're playing fucking Foo Fighters covers. It doesn't matter if you're doing fucking Nicki Minaj covers. If you put your heart and soul into that shit, it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Well, please don't do any Nicki Minaj covers. I'll blow my fucking brains out.
Scene, I guess, is kind of alright. I guess if you want to listen to like Newfoundland or folk music or whatever, you can go up and down the street and it's fucking everyone's playing Wagon Wheel on the next every other bar. But as regards to the metal scene, like it's getting a bit bigger now. Like, it's growing a bit, but there's not a whole lot of bands that are doing what we're doing.
A band of Sadler's Satan sucking his cock and shit like that. You know, I mean, if you just get into a little box, then people think that's all you write about, and lo and behold, and you're in a new satanic band, that you're a dime a dozen then. As a whole, I like how there's so many different bands and styles, and how it's anyone who got an idea and an art can go down and play. Whereas like other parts of the world are a bit more particular. Seems lately cover music is the big thing, which I don't mind playing a cover show once or twice a year, you know, for an event or like a fundraiser or something. But not when it becomes your main source. It's like you're turning it into a middle-aged bar now that like old people will come to hook up because they're divorced, they're desperate, or diseased. That I really like about playing in Winterhearth is just the aggression of the music. You know, I always wanted to be in a band like that was just totally balls out metal. You know, I think Winterhearth brings a strong presence to the scene. You know, Winterhearth is one of those bands that just that we go hard, you know, from first song to the end. It's just, you know.
The second album?
Yeah.
What you can expect? A lot more songs than just the 7 longer ones from Curse of Summer, for starters. Different style changes since, like, you want to hear some songs got like Fear Factory influence, Pantera influence, like Soilwork influence, and Flames influence. The others it's gonna be like Impaled Nazarene, Dissection, and Rotting Christ influence. So it's a big mixture of the West and the East, I think. I don't even know where to begin. There's like a lot more influence from bands like Machine Head and Fear Factory. Listen to a lot of newer Boldham and Elvete. It's like a mix of North American side meets the European side. There's actually going to be scattered breakdowns in it, which is I don't know how people's going to react to that one. There's a few Lamb of God style riffs in there. I really don't know if people's going to advance to that. It's just we're trying something, not something different, but yeah, we're trying something different. I mean, it's a different direction, but we're still going to be us, you know?
So, a lot of great bands in St. John's, like the local scene. There's lots of punk, lots of metal bands, and I think it's a really great scene. St. John's is pretty much the only place where you can play that kind of music, you know, any like hard rock or anything of that nature. I remember back in, I think it was grade 9, grade 8, a lot of my buddies started learning how to play guitar, and I wanted to play guitar as well. You know, I tried to learn, but I remember one of my buddies, he said, hey, you know, you should get drums, you should be the drummer. And I just remember I'd go over to my friend's house, and he was always playing this kind of music. Like, it was something, because I wasn't really big into rock music or any kind of music at the time, but pretty much hearing all this music, like insanely heavy guitar, fast drums, and I think the vocals, just crazy scream vocals, is really what attracted me. Just really crazy, really different, something that like opened a whole new world of music to me, and it's just, you know, I never looked back since.